Okay, Bismillah now.
Okay, shukran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, all praises are due to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who granted us once again this opportunity to be able to utilize this platform, inshallah, in doing our studies with regards to the Arabic language. And alhamdulillah, we have completed up to lesson 9 or lesson 8 already, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, what we will do this evening, inshallah, we will continue. But before we actually go on to the start of our new lesson, inshallah, because last week we did the pronouns, which was quite interesting. The pronouns where we refer to huwa and hiya, as well as anta and anti, and also then, referring to you. And then obviously we also then did ana, which refer to I. And I think that was, the importance of that particular lesson. I have opened, as you will see on your screen there from your side, I have opened here on my page or on your page 22. Those of you who do have the books, alhamdulillah, the others, the books has already arrived. Ibrahim has probably got, a few books that must still be collected. And I've also got, quite a bit of books, that needs to be collected. But shukran for those who actually collected, came out and collected, alhamdulillah. I just want to make an adjustment to a statement that is made here in the book, because I was also a bit confused last week. And if we read, we have got my marker there, the explanation, where it says here that, importantly here, it says that, where is it now? Is that the one? This one over here. This one. Here we are. Sorry, it's on page number 25. Where we did anta and antia, that was fine, but I think no, it was worse the other one, because it was the question where we had one of the examples when it came to the request of when it came to the request of huwa and hiya. But anyway, on that question there, what happened was we had an example where we then also read on one of the explanation notes where it read that when we refer to huwa and hiya, okay, huwa and hiya is always used for personal, for personal pronouns or whatever. When it, here we are. Sorry, on page 21, the feminine, the masculine person, the masculine pronoun here. The masculine pronoun means he, which is huwa, as it is noted in the above example. Huwa refers to persons only, and then obviously number 2 said that hiya refers to persons only. But if we understand or if we read through the actual explanation here, it actually refers to this particular example at the top here. Okay? Can we see here? Because there, huwa is he and here is she. But we had an example where it was an item, a thing, an object, and it was said to us, use huwa or hiya. If we can refer, I think it was in this set here. I just want to see where that one example came up, where there was a question here. Somewhere, yeah, here we are. Can you see there? Exercise number 7. It is a car. Remember, and then we had the discussion there. is it now huwa or hiya? And then we referred back to the explanation there where it says that huwa or hiya is only used for personal items. I just need to rectify that because that actual statement refers to the sentences that was above there in number 22. Because I've read up in my other Arabic books that I have, and I could recall, that we use huwa and hiya on things as well, because therefore they're asking here, it is a car. So, example, what we therefore understand that huwa and hiya can also be referred to, as I read here, huwa and hiya can also be referred to the pronoun, which it denotes either a human beings or an animal or a thing. Okay, so importantly, just remember that there is a correction, to our statement that we made in the first lesson there. I just want to, reiterate that fact. So which means huwa and hiya can also be used, for, like we would say, as the pronoun huwa and hiya can also be used when it refers to or denotes a human being as well. Like in this particular case, the example was translate the following into Arabic. And it would have now read here, hiya, hiya, and car, obviously, as we know, sayyaratun. So it's hiya sayyaratun. Okay, just to rectify that, because the others you will find here, for example, it's all to do with like the he's and the she's are all to do with persons. That particular one refers to with. Okay, so inshallah, I hope that makes that clear. Alhamdulillah, just a correction on that also, inshallah. Yeah, Yusuf, yeah, Abdurrahman.
Kan ek ook iets sê op daai imam? Ek het gelees ook daar iets is uit Kaane. Dus ek het geskryf die hier sy jare toe.
Naam. You see, dat is ook reg. You see, dat is ook reg. But soos ek sê is, die statement was gemaak is daar op die tamarin, op die die example daarvan, soos gewys het daar op page number 21. Okay?
Ja.
Wat hulle gebruik het daar, they only used persons, man, right?
Yeah.
Because
I understand that. I understand that.
But no.
But ek het later confused geraak, want ek het die exercise gedoen, it is a car. It het 'n bietjie confused.
Yeah. You see, because you see with Amani, if you are going to use hadha, then hadha means was this. You see, and hadha meaning itni. Now that's iets wat vir my vir my gebother het. And then I passed it over. But to say to refer na my other Arabic references what I get, because sometimes you read in the text as ook it is, as huwa or hiya. So therefore, what Damo rectified no the issue on to say that huwa and hiya refer ook so na, so let me say huwa and hiya referring also so to things, man. Verstaan wat ek bedoel?
Ja, dat kan nog in ieder geval.
Ons kan hy gebruik in daai aspek, inshallah, né?
Okay.
Imam, so can I just so when you go from Arabic to English, so when you say here ziyaratun from Arabic to English, then you translate it as it is a car and not she is a car.
Naam. But that it will now become a she it or he it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If the noun is then, for example, masculine, then you will say he huwa, right? But when you translate it, you say it. Not going to say. And when you in turn, when you refer to a feminine, obviously, then you will say hiya. Okay, and huwa for masculine. Okay?
Shukran.
You with me, Yusuf?
Yes, shukran.
Afwan, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we're going now to the following lesson, because I think the other pronouns was all important for us to remember. Only that, as we can see the page that I have opened now, where we have ana for I, that you must remember, because now we're referring to as ana for I, that's first person. Second person is anti, when you speak to somebody directly to you, so from you first person to second person. Remember, you will always, you as the individual, not you, but like I, will always be the first person, right? Then when you, first person, speaks to another person, you address him as you. So therefore you use anta or anti. That is in the beginning. Anta or anti. And these, as I mentioned to us, these are all with regards to singular. No? Singular individuals. Soon as when you go to dual, we're going to look at something else. Dual means two, because Arabic has got three tenses. They've got first person, they got, for example, first person, then they got two together, and then they got plural. Okay? Whereas in the normal other languages, you find you have singular and plural. You know, one is singular, and anything more than one, like from two up, is always regarded as plural. Okay? But in Arabic, you find you have one, and then you have two, which is they call it as dual or muthanna, mufrad, muthanna, and jam'. Jam means plural. Okay, jama'an or jam'un means plural, and that is anything more than two from three up. Okay, so this is important for us to realize or remember, as I said, ana for one, you second person, and then huwa is like three, third person, which means the two of us speaks about them, you know, meaning the third group of people. Okay, so inshallah, I think that is just what we must still remember and then focus on. And inshallah, today, alhamdulillah, we come to our new lesson, which is the preposition, which in Arabic, there's lots of other prepositions, you know, that we refer to, but this is more, this is a certain type of preposition which refers to possession, you know, to have something, okay? So this is a special lesson that we will just maybe focus on, inshallah. You can see it obviously when it comes to this particular lesson, it refers to where you're now connected to persons here, okay? For example, we say here, therefore, the Arabic word for a preposition, you know, there are many, as we say, these are just the first one that we're doing. This is like, therefore, they call a preposition in Arabic is termed, as we say there, huruful jar, no? Huruful jar, okay? Or otherwise they call harfu jar or huruful jar, meaning the listener, the preposition, okay? So the jar is called as or referred to as the preposition. We say there the preposition inda, okay? Which means with or at, okay? But we'll see, you know, even though it can mean any of those, because with, there's also another preposition that they use for with, they call it ma'a, you know, but therefore we'll see, I prefer to go further with the explanation where they say it is used with attached pronoun, with attached pronouns, the dama'ir muttasila, meaning, you know, the attached ones, to express the important, the meaning of to have, okay? And I think this is something that we must remember, that when you see the word inda, it refers to possess, you know, or to have, right? So we will deal only with the singular pronouns again, you know, singular attached pronouns. The attached pronoun, as we know, we find, like, for example, we will see the ya. We bring in the ya here, no? The ya, indi. Like we said, I remember I mentioned to us abi, you know, abi, then we obviously add the ya on the abun, but then obviously when you in turn add the, I don't want us to concentrate too much on abi or indi at the moment, but what happens is, for example, when we look at inda, can you see inda? Inda is the root word, inda, the sound there. But when always you'll find when you add a ya on, then the da becomes a I. So it will never be indaini. You remember that? Indaini, it will always be indi. If you say abun, changes into my father, abi. If you say umun, changes into my mother, ami, usmaf, umi. You know what I'm trying to say? So whenever you add the ya on to bring possession to myself or to I, okay, because you'll see, soon as you refer to yourself as your possession, you will find that you will add a ya on here, okay? And that is, inshallah, that is a lesson on its own, which we will all obviously be doing later on in the classes, inshallah. But therefore, indi means I have. So the word indi, inda, I would refer to as us try and memorize it to indicate to indicate having, you know, or possessing. So indi, I have. See there? And there, when it comes to, for example, to the female, the mu'annath, mudhakkar is indi. For the feminine, it will also be indi. See there? Indi, same. Because you'll find whenever you add on the ya, masculine or feminine, it will basically be the same. So for a female, indi, the female, when the lady says I possess, she will actually refer to as indi. When the man says I have, he will also say indi. Okay? Then you. Now remember, you will always be second person, as you said, ka and ki. Okay? Ka, you male have, ki, you female have. So there we say, indaka. See there? Inda means to have, ka means you. So inda means you have. And then feminine, ka becomes ki. Okay? Always. So it's inda ki. Inda ki, inda ka. Okay? And then obviously the third person be hu and ha. Okay? Hu and ha. Inda hu. It is it or see there? It or he has. No? See there? So inda hu. You can refer to an object as well as a person, and indaha, object or person she has. So inshallah, I think these are, I'm sure that these makes a bit sense for us in that many times, for example, when we make dua, for example, then we say Allah maghfir lahu, then we refer to him, he. And we say Allah maghfir laha, and we refer to her. Okay? So this is where you'll find, for example, importantly to realize, like I say, inda. You remember inda to mean to have. So if I say, I have a book, then you say, indi kitabun. You know? Indi means I have kitabun, a book. You know? And similarly, if you say, indi sayaratin or indi sayaratun, then I have a car. Why? Because remember that the sayaratun, you know, the dommatain, always remember our lessons that we have done. It refers to a, meaning an indefinite item. And I'll emphasize indefinite because inshallah, if time allows us, we will be changing over into definite, you know, maybe this evening, inshallah, depending as to how we proceed as we go on, inshallah. Is there any question, or let me first read the explanations and then we can see, you know, if there's any questions regarding this. Okay. Firstly, in the first example, the ya, which is an attached pronoun, damirun muttasil, means me. Okay. Indi, me, you know, me. And therefore you say I have, right? Since it is combined with the preposition inda, meaning with, or to have, I would rather say, the phrase means with me. See, with me, or I have, or like we say, I have here. Okay, so that's number one. So the ya, you must remember whenever you see, this is just a you know, something for us to file as a reference. Whenever you see a ya as being your last letter, you know, in the sentence, then automatically you know that the letter in, you know, preceding that, just before that here, in this case it's a dal, it will take a I, because that will indicate to you possession. Okay? Indi, or as I said, ummi, or if I said abi, or if I said, for example, waladi, you know, my boy, you know, or something like that. Okay, inshallah. So that's number one. Number two, the second example is the masculine ka, right? And the feminine ki. They are attached to inda to give the meaning that you have, you know, meaning you second person, indaka, or I'd say to a female, indaki, meaning you have, okay? And then lastly, let me just go to the third explanation. This is where we find in the third example, you know, who, it is attached to inda to give the meaning that he has, it means indahu, you know, or, and the ha is attached to give the meaning of indaha, meaning that she has. So these expressions are used to convey possession. For example, indi kitabun, I have a book. You know, note that the nouns which follow take the dommatain and that they do not have to agree in gender. Very, very important, with the attached pronoun. Okay? Right of Tavir. What it means here, for example, if you have a feminine word, Now, feminine noun, for example, if you take, for example, I use the word sayyaratun because all of us have a sayyara. So sayyara, as you and I know, it's a feminine word, right? It's feminine. It's a feminine noun, you know, due to the tamar buta. But if you say you're a man and you say, I have a car, then you, as the man, will say, Indi sayyaratun. You see there? Now we find Indi, for example, okay, that is for all. But now let us take another example. We take the ka. Ka refers to male. So if I say Indaka sayyaratun, it means you have a car. So we can see you ka is masculine, but sayyaratun is feminine, which means that the pronoun does not have to agree with a noun. You see, the pronoun does not have to agree with a noun. Here, for, you know, I'll see if I can find something here, you know, there we are. If we look at this one here, for example, Aindaki qamusun. Aindaki qamusun. Ainda, right, is to have. Ki means she, you know, or meaning you female have. But qamusun means dictionary, but qamusun here is masculine. Why? Because there is not a tamar buta on there, and it is not also a name or making a reference to a female. So what I'm trying to say is, as per this particular item number 5, saying that the noun necessarily does not have to agree in gender with the attached pronoun, which is the ha, the ka, and the ki. Okay? Inshallah, I will stop there. If there's any questions that anybody would like to ask before we proceed further, inshallah. Any questions? Is everybody comfortable with that? It seems so, no? Everybody's...
I
everybody,
I was gonna, sorry,
Fadal, Walid?
no, I was just gonna say, so is it wrong? So is Imam saying you can't change a dictionary to a female, even though you're saying you have in the sense of indaki.
It was indaki. Remember, that's a good question, Walid. Remember, firstly, we're looking at now, and now this is important. Remember, we spoke so far with regards to the ruling. The ruling says that when you have a female noun, because obviously your noun, this is very, very important. Every sentence will have a noun, okay? Every sentence has a noun, meaning a doer. The saying is, the Arabic saying is, لِكُلِّ فِعْلٍ فَائِلٍ. For every deed or anything that's being done, there's a doer, right? Now, for example, if you look at, so therefore, in every sentence will have a noun, mouth, and the noun will determine the gender of the sentence. Are we right there? Right? You agree with me? Right?
Yes, Master.
Now, okay, so you agree with it. So right, so obviously your what do you call it? Your noun will determine the genes or the gender of the sentence. But when we look at so therefore, if you have a noun and you have an adjective qualifying the noun, then automatically the adjective and the noun must be on the same. They must both be either masculine or feminine. Okay, right? You got that one?
Yes, I got that.
Now. But if what we're doing now is we're talking about things that we're adding in, like a harfu jar, meaning a preposition is something that will connect the sentence. So which means that has got nothing to do with the actual noun. It will actually basically, because therefore we can say ainda means to have, and this ha here, ha, you know this word ha, that refers to a person. So we can see therefore, so that ainda there means to have, and ha refers to the one possessing. So therefore, you'll see, for example, in the first example here, we would see what they got the good bit. So they got the ainda ha means she has hirratun jamilatun. Now hirratun is a feminine word. Hirratun is a cat. See? And it's got tun, hirratun. So jamilatun must also be feminine, because that is that we call the mawsuf together. Remember, that is hirratun, jamilatun. But indaha, it can be also indahu. It can mean that he also has a beautiful cat. You understand what I'm saying? So he is separate. This indaha is separate from that. That goes together as a phrase, and this particular thing here, it's all on its own, because indaha tells you possession, you know, and this is like we say, this is then the what we call it, the mawsuf, meaning the noun, or tells you what they possess. Okay, so therefore, when it comes to the preposition does not need not be qualified or connected to the noun. Okay, but you must remember a noun and obviously its adjective must be together in one, what we call it, feminine or masculine. Okay, you got it?
No.
No. Okay, shukran. Righto. So now we can see here the following sentence. Indaha hirratun jamilatun. Okay, hirratun. Can you see this hirratun is refers to a cat. But you see, I think here we also need to look at, there's another word, for example, where we'll see a cat will also become, like we say, masculine, but it won't be hirra, it will be qittun. Qittun, you know? Qittun. Qittun is also feminine, but it's another word for cat. So hirratun or qittun. Therefore, this word hirra here is also used as cat, and therefore also comes the name of one of the Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu Abu Hurairah. See, Abu Hurairah was also, he was known the father of the kittens. You see, Hurairah or Hirratun. And that is where Hirratun is also, like we say, also refers to a cat. And that was also the kunya. Kunya means the nickname or the name that Abu Hurairah was known as. You know, just to give us an idea there as well. Okay, so, but Hirratun, as Walid's question was, it's a very good question, that two agree together. You can't say, Inda Hirratun Jamilun. Khata. That's wrong. Why? Because the mawsuf, meaning the adjective qualifying the noun, does not agree with it in gender, and that must agree in gender. But need not, as we say, the possession can be belonging to a male or a female. But you know, as we look at here, for example, we call it the khabar. Khabar, you know, we will come to that again. The predicate. Predicate means the khabar as mubtada and khabar. You know, the khabar here, that must agree, you know, in gender here. Okay. Then we have the second one, indaka kalbun kabirun. See there, indaka means you have, man, kalbun kabirun. Can we see? The noun is kalbun, kabirun is, like we would say, the adjective qualifying kabirun, or mean kalbun. But now the other question, indaka, you female, but you have a dictionary, qamusun. You see now, qamusun cannot become masculine. Why? Because only persons, remember the saying that we had, only persons can, you know, be changed from masculine to feminine. But a qamusun is a thing. It's a dictionary. So you can't say a female dictionary is called a qamusatun. Can't say so. Why? Because qamusun will always be a dictionary, and it falls under the category of masculine nouns, whereas sayyaratun will also be, you know, known as feminine again, because it also forms a part of, you know, like it has a tamarbuta as part of its words, okay, or part of its lessons. Then we say, Indahu, he has kursiyun maksurun. See, Indahu kursiyun maksurun means he has a broken chair, right? And then Indi, I have sahnun. Sahnun is a plate, okay? Indi sahnun, okay? Inshallah. So is there any questions before we go to the new vocabulary that we've learned on here, inshallah? I think what you can maybe do is, if you can unmute yourself, let us just open the vocal cords a bit, inshallah, and we start reading this just to familiarize ourselves, you know, with the you know, the actual words here. The importance is, Kanala, you know, well, what I always mention to us as students also, remember, in our lessons, in our grammar lessons, or as an Arabic student, it is important that you pronounce all the you know, all the vowels. Very, very important. Remember, I think Brother Jaris asked me once also about when we say kaifa khaluk, you know, then we make that kaf a, see, kaifa khaluk is on the same root. You know, kaifa means how, and laka means, you know, your, laka means your condition, you know, how is your condition. So it means, can we see there, and your as kaifa khaluka, and the female would be kaifa khaluki, you see. But when you speak, when you communicate with somebody, you always say kaifa khaluk, then you change that to a sukun. But important for us, as we say, we need to basically indicate and pronounce the last vowel to indicate that you as the student understand who you're actually making a reference with. Okay, so we can all just repeat after me. The first one, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, is Indaha Hirratun Jamilatun. Okay, together?
Indaha hirratun jamilatun.
Okay, طيب. Next one is Indaka Kalbun Kabirun. Together? Oh, okay?
Indaka kalbun kabirun.
طيب. Next one. Indaki Qamusun. Okay, together?
Indaki kamusun.
Okay, right, oh, fine. I don't hear everybody, no? I don't know if everybody is maybe they forgot to put the mute on, whatever, or take it off.
And
Right, oh, fine. Indahu kursiyun maksurun. Okay, together?
Indahu kursiyun maksurun.
Right, right. And the last one, Indi sahnun. Okay, together?
Indi sahnun.
Sahnun. Indi sahnun. That is the plate. Right, now we're going to the new vocabulary that we're going to learn on, inshallah. When we look at the vocabulary here, inshallah, we go to the following. Qamusun is a dictionary. Okay, together?
Kamusun.
A dictionary. The next one, sahnun, a plate.
Sahnun, a plate.
Right. Finjanun, a cup.
Finjanun, a cup.
Finjanun, a cup, yeah. I just need to reiterate also very, very important for us that remember when I said in the first lessons, when we read or when we communicate in Arabic, okay, then we don't apply the tajweed laws, okay? Remember, very, very important. Like, for example, you might do the jerk so now and then, you know, meaning letter of qalqala, you know, subhanallah. But, you know, normally when we do converse in the Arabic language, then you say the letters as short as you can, you know. For example, here, if you look at this here, you know, if you say finjanun, see now fa and nun sakin means jim. See there? Now normally in the Arabic you would have read nun sakin meaning jim, means jim. Obviously it is known as the letters of ikhfa, right? Then you would have said finjanun. So you don't say, you know, you don't sort of ghunna onto the nun there now. You will say it as it is, like, you know, short and sweet as it is there, finjanun. Okay, you won't say to somebody, pass me the cup, or, you know, it is my cup, indi finjanun. You won't say that, you know. You'll just say finjanun. Okay? Finjanun. You know, if you're gonna prolong it like that, then that person will now automatically know you're probably just trying to sort of make sure that you know the word is proper, you know. Okay, so remember that. Then a cat is called hirrun. Hirrun. And when you look at the female cat, hirratun, there is a, it must actually a cat is hirratun. Hirratun or hirrun as they got it there. Then a professor, then a professor is ustadun. Altogether?
Ustadun.
Ustadun. Right. So now we come to the next one. Let's just go down from the top again. Qamusun, let us do the feminine versions of these. Okay? The feminine versions. Starting Qamusun.
Stays Kamusun. Down feminine.
No feminine, stay Qamusun. Finjanun. Sorry, Sakhnun.
Stay Sakhnun.
God,
sure? Don't get a feminine plate.
Sakhnun, right. Then the next one, Finjanun.
Janun.
Is there a
Say.
feminine? Is there a feminine for that?
No.
Naam. Hirrun.
Irratun.
Hirratun.
Ratun.
Naam. Hirratun.
Hiratun.
Ustadhun.
Ustadatun.
Ustadatun.
Ustadhatun Taib, mashallah. Righto, now we come to the next one. Su'alun. Okay, a question. Remember, in the previous lesson last week, we spoke about the answer. Can we still remember what was the Arabic word for answer?
Jawab. Jawabun.
Jawabun. No? Oh, jawabna. Remember, we still
Yeah.
spoke about jawab. Jawabun, yes, so it is su'alun. No? Su'alun is the question. So if somebody asks a question, su'alun, then you must make, you must jawab to that.
Answer.
Jawabun, right? Then, okay, fine. So everybody, su'alun, a question.
Su'alun, a question.
Again,
Su'alun, a question.
a question. Next one, kursiyun, a chair.
Kursiyun, a chair.
A chair, right? Oh, here's another word. Risalatun.
Risalatun.
Risalatun is a letter.
Same letter.
Okay? And how would you refer to the masculine form of the risalatun?
This says risalatun, feminine.
Feminine. Okay. Type. No, that's fucker. Right. A factory is called a masna'un. Masna'un. A factory. Yeah? Everybody for factory?
Masna'un.
Masna'un, a factory. And obviously a dog is called a
Kalbun.
kalbun. No? Kalbun, a dog. Kalbun, yeah. And a heart will obviously, the kaf will change to a kaf. Okay?
Kalbun.
Kolbun.
Everybody comfortable?
So
with
can
that?
like me that dog must can we make it now feminine?
No, you don't get the word kalbun. So every dog it refers to a dog itself is like a feminine, a masculine word. Okay, it's not a person, it's an animal. Okay.
But an
So
animal you
everybody-
get must a feminine.
Yeah,
You know, like we have the cat. You have now the example of the cat.
Yeah, but on the cat day, the cat should actually be hirratun and not hirun.
Okay.
Must
All
be
right.
hirratun, not hirun, So there's always, like we say, there's always where we find, certain, I won't say mistakes, but maybe misprints or something like that, that people do, inshallah. Okay, fine. Yeah, let us just see. I just want to see if we are with us before we go to the next lesson or before we can qualify to go to the next lesson. Okay, right, here we go. Translate into Arabic. I have a new dictionary.
Indi qamisun jadidun.
Everybody, come again, everybody. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Indi qamisun
Obviously,
jadidun.
if you have I, if you say I, remember, I refers to me. So the word for have is inda. And if I say I have, it should become indi.
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 Are you with me? Everybody? Should be
Indi.
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 There's it, yeah. Dictionary is
Qamus.
qamusun, right? Qamusun. But now you say it's a new dictionary.
Jadidun.
Jadidun, right? So what will your whole answer here will be? Indi, I have
Indi kamisun jadidun.
qamisun jadidun.
Jadidun.
Has everybody got it? Do you want us to just revisit that one again? Anybody else? Are we all comfortable?
Comfortable.
I don't hear much. I don't hear anybody else uttering anything. I just want us to be comfortable with that, Is everybody comfortable with it?
Naam.
Yeah, Imam.
No. Okay, type. Okay, fine. The next one. Let us try the next one. I has or have is the same. No? Can Allah, you got to see no problem has and have and had me. But, but have everything there to do with have, meaning possession. She has a clean room. So this is how you will obviously try and analyze it. Has or have means inda. When you speak to she about she refers to the you. We're speaking to about that person there. So it is ha, right? Inda ha. What is a room?
غرفة. غرفتun.
Ghurfatun. And clean?
Nadhifatun, isn't it?
Nadhifatun. So when you now analyze this whole word, you will read it as?
Indaha.
Indaha.
Indaha غرفتun nadhifatun.
Sorry. Indaha ghurfatun nadhifatun. Is everybody with me? I don't get any, because I know all your faces. Don't worry, I can see you. So, Mr. Silence, and I see, everybody is not on mute. So obviously you can, even though you may be on mute, but you can still hear me. As Yusuf, the professional tells me, Amal work for me. So, Kanala, I think I want us to participate, and please, if you're a bit uncomfortable, please feel free to answer, like or request. As you heard Walid, Mr. Tamani, they ask questions. Don't be shy. Ask questions, because you will really find that because of your question, others will really benefit from it. So please, let us all participate, because I want us to participate, even if you understand, if you can just understand. I know some of us, we don't always just sort of speak out, but as long as I can get an indication, you understand, khoy the thumb, or whatever the case may be. Righto. Now we come again, he has. So soon as we refer to, number 3, you have. So when you refer to you, we refer to the second one, so that is ka or ki.
Ka.
Right? So you have, so you can either say you male or you female. But remember what I told us, if they want to indicate female, as you can see in number H, can you see there? They put a small little f there. Can you see?
Yeah.
So when you see the small little f, that refers to feminine. So here in this particular case, they refer to a male. So the you male, meaning I'm speaking to somebody, second person, you have a broken plate. Okay? So I need to first and foremost understand what have means inda. I know by now. You means for masculine is ka.
Indaka.
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 Plate is one of the words that we just now.
Sahnun.
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 Broken means?
Maksurun.
Maksurun. So how will I say the whole sentence?
Indaka.
Indaka. Sahnun maksurun. Maksurun.
Remember now what we, when we do this, even though we have broken here as the adjective and it appears before the noun, but when in turn, like we translate it into English, then the noun comes before the
Arabic.
adjective. Okay? Before the adjective. Whereas in Arabic, you'll find the Arabic will come first, and then I would say the noun will come first, and then the mawsuf, meaning the adjective qualifying the noun. Right. Number D. He has. So he is obviously, like she, third person. So it must be
Indahu.
Indahu. He has. Indahu. Teacher is
Muallimun.
Muallimun. Sincere is
Mukhlisun.
Mukhlisun. So how would you read that whole sentence?
Indahu.
Indahu.
Muallimun mukhlisun.
Muallimun mukhlisun. Okay. Indahu muallimun mukhlisun. Number E. She has a sister. She.
Indaha.
Indaha.
Ukhtun.
Ukhtun. Right? Indaha ukhtun. Ukhtun is a sister. Number F. Righto. He has a ruler.
Indahu. What's ruler?
Indahu. Ruler.
Ruler is what is ruler?
Mistaratun. Indahu.
Mistaratun.
Indahu mistaratun.
Mistaratun.
Indahu mistaratun.
Ratun.
Next one. It has a big window. You see, maybe you say the house, no? You say, instead of saying the house has a big window, you say it has a big window. And obviously when we refer to it, we then refer to the third person, which is therefore, you would say, what would that be? He, right? It will be the same as he.
Indahu.
You say, it will be, why does it he? Because in this particular case, it refers to he here. Okay, so we say indahu, window.
Nadhifatun. Kabiratun.
Nafidatun.
Nafidatun. Kabiratun.
Kabiratun. Beautiful. Because nafidatun is feminine, right? Feminine, importantly, right? Then you female have a chair. You female?
Indaki. Indaki.
Yeah, for you.
Indaki.
You
Yeah.
as indaki. No?
Indaki.
You. Remember, he or she.
Indaki.
So how, who. So
Yeah.
indaki.
Indiki kursiyun.
Indaki.
Kursiyun.
Right. Can you see how beautifully there? Once again, as we explained earlier,
Feminine
indaki is feminine.
Kursiyun is.
But kursiyun is masculine. See
Yes.
that? So therefore, they don't need to. You don't need to change chair into a feminine chair now. You know, because it. You know, it doesn't. It sort of is not connected to the same. You know, noun there, right? Then I have a small cup.
Indi finjanun saghirun.
Indi.
Finjanun saghirun.
Finjanun cup.
Saghirun.
Saghirun, right? Masculine. And the last one, it has a wide door. It. Third. When we look at it, he and it and she are all third person. So it will be either who or ha, right?
Indahu.
Indahu.
Babun wasi'un.
Babun
Wasi'un.
Sorry, beautiful. Alhamdulillah. So yeah, I'm gonna, you know, this you can do because I see the Arabic is something that we're gonna work a lot on. No? I will always try and do the Arabic with us. Obviously, to translate into English, you can look that up yourself. You can find the words, inshallah, because the words that you find obviously in the Arabic here, indi, indaka, all that, you can see it's all on the same pattern. It's just for you. Importantly, therefore, I emphasize that, you know, I would propose and suggest that you try and do the examples, maybe not immediately, but try and do at least to do it during the week so that you can be in touch, you know, with the class, importantly, or not with the class, but the way we, you know, we're moving on. That's important, you know, because like you'll see, we will be doing this all the time. And the more I can feel comfortable that we can qualify to go on to next lesson, I will then, you know, motivate we go on to the next lesson. But soon as I find, you know, that, you know, I still feel a bit uncomfortable with the class with regards to the response, obviously, then, you know, I will have to hold back a bit if, you know, and I see, as we say, we obviously move together as a class, inshallah. Yeah, now we say, correct the following sentences. Like I say, I leave this again for us to do, but I'll just explain to us what is requested here. You must correct the sentence. Now, when a sentence needs to be corrected, you'll find that there's an error somewhere here. Okay? For example, I'll do the first one for you. Indahu kursiyun kabiratun. See that? Now, indahu means he possesses. So that is important there. But kursiyun is masculine. But can you see kabiratun is feminine? So which means that kabiratun must change into indahu kursiyun kabirun. So then you will rectify that. Why? Because kursiyun is masculine. And as I said to us, remember, you know, that indahu, the hu here, that's got nothing to do with the actual sifa and the mawsuf here. You know, nothing to do with it. This sifa and mawsuf, this two here, the noun and the adjective, they must agree. The indahu, indaka doesn't connect to that because that just bring about who possesses that. But the that I'm referring to, the mawsuf and the sifa, this year, that must agree in gender. And here's another one. I'm going to see who's so clever here before we go on. We say here, for example, yeah, he's not quite sure. This one here. Tilka sahnun maksurun.
ذلك صحن مكسور.
Must be dhalika. Can you see here? Why?
Tilka is feminine.
Just hold on to there. I just want to ask anybody else. Why does Auntie Rhoda thumbs up just now and tell me that this is wrong here because that must be dhalika? Of course, they said dhalika.
Dhalika is masculine.
Masculine, yeah. Must be masculine.
Yeah. And very, very important. Well done, Abdamani and Auntie Zorina, what the good. You see, because you must not fall into the trap. The others is all inda, kind of sin. So inda has got nothing to do with the mawsuf and the sifa that follows here. But tilka is of the old lessons we did. Remember, and tilka is part of this whole sentence here, saying that is a whatever. Can you see there? So this doesn't point out to possession. It's only under possession that we find that this has got nothing to do with the mawsuf and the sifa here. Can you see? Because this will still have to follow the same, as it is here. And therefore, we can see all these others. Yes, this is nice brain teaser for us, inshallah. And I think maybe next week we can start off by, doing the homework. Then I can see who did the homework and who not. Make sentences of the following words. Importantly, you need to work on this one also for me, inshallah. Okay. Okay, leave that alone. I won't do that with us now. I'm going into lesson number 10. It's 25 past.
So iemand moet ons allemaal die van 2 tot 5 huiswerk doen vir ander week.
Ja, inshallah, man. Kijk wat ik zo zeg. Ik zie jullie kunnen, ik zie ons, ik ga niet zeggen jullie niet. Ik zal zeggen, die students hebben een lekker advantage in dat ik vat die boeken in niet. Verstaan? So obviously, weet ek mos nou nie weet jy homework gedoen en weet jy die homework gedoen nie. But I can derive from the response, man. That either when we're not going over it, because when I'm in the class, then I can hear there's a response from everybody. Verstaan wat ek bedoel? So everybody is understanding the lessons every night. But now the thing is this, when you now sit and you're not connected to the class, it's almost like sometimes when you find yourself, you're in a space, then when you're in that particular space, then, the vibe in the space also motivates you. But now, with Arabic, unfortunately, or any other study that you do, you must also then try and decipher things on your own. And that is how you will be able to understand. Understand what I bedoel? And that's the reason why the homework is in here, because alhamdulillah, I've got, biqudratillahi ta'ala, with the power that Allah can put or generate within us and the ability, I've actually found, that there's a lot of exercises that I want to actually give us that comes actually from the Arabic books, the Medina syllabus that I have, that I'm going to put through to us, as soon as I feel that we are ready to do, these exercises, the tamarin, because it will actually just strengthen us, man, when we do some of our exercises and all that. But I need us to be able to start. Look at there, we have lesson number 10 now. And being at lesson number 10, we should actually, have now reached a stage where we need to put a bit of effort in, man. Alhamdulillah, shukran once again to Mutai Ibrahim, for arranging the books for us and doing everything, inshallah. And, I just ask everybody to keep on to our amana that we undertook, to just make the transfer into Uncle Ibrahim's account in Fadlikum. And then also, if there's any other students that still need books, because alhamdulillah, we took 20 books, but now I see there's an order where there's a request for 22 books. So I've asked Uncle Ibrahim to arrange 5 more to be reserved at the same price. So there's 3 more left, you know. But I mean, we can't guarantee that after this, that we will get it at the same price, you know. That's the reason why I've actually asked Ibrahim, you know, to actually arrange, you know, if we can maybe reserve another 5 books. Okay? So inshallah, you know, you have your books by now, or people have their books. As I said, there are some that must still collect. But you can now actually work, so there's niks meer excuses nie, en niks meer dinge sê, is nou net for us to put our shoulder, you know, I'll put our mind to it, really, I would say. We nog gesê dit is stil aan die wiel, maar rather we say to put our minds to it, and inshallah we start, you know, working on it, because I think I will conclude on this, and I think I also, you know, expect some effort from the students, inshallah. For next week, I will start, as you can see there, lesson number 10. Those of us who do have the books, read through it. But this is, you must, you know, alhamdulillah, I feel that we must, and I will reiterate it, you know, that we must understand all the lessons up to lesson number 9, you know, just the ahkam, the laws of it. Because we're going to come to lesson number 10, we're going to see here, we're talking here about the definite article. You know, the alamu ta'arif. And this is where we're going to now see, we will change over, as we can see, just showing us the example here, you know, we will do this again next week. Can you see there? Darsun is a lesson. We did that. But now you're going to see, there's another one there where we see ad-darsu. See, and there the un changes to a u there, and you added alif and lam on there. Okay? So as you can see, if we are going to sort of feel capable to do this, we need to understand, you know, the change over from the one to the other. You will find, unfortunately, I couldn't manage to put it onto the chat there, yeah. But you will see that on the what you call it, on the Arabic chat. I don't know, some of us are probably using our phones. But you'll see there today, I forwarded you a lesson, or I would say a page here, where we will read on the top, Al-Khuruf al-Qamariya wa Khuruf al-Shamsiya. Did you see that? Did everybody receive that? Because whoever is on the Arabic chat should have received it. And this is very, very important for us to just go through. Because you're going to see
moon letters in the sun.
Yeah, we call it the letters of the moon and the letters
of the sun.
And that is all connected to the alam ta'arif, meaning the lam, the al. Because you see, for example, if you look at the first one, it says al-abu. You see, now we refer that to as the letters of the moon, Qamariya. Now when you say the al, which means if the al sort of is pronounced, then obviously it is weaker, meaning the letter following the lam is weak, meaning it is regarded as the letters of the moon. So any letter where the lam must be pronounced, you know, then you'll find obviously it's referred to as huruful Qamariya, and Shamsiya is the strong one, you know, which means that the letter following the lam, the letter immediately after the lam, you can look at the dal here. You see, the dal. I'm talking about that one. So the lam and then the dal. So we can see that they don't put the you know, it should actually be al-darsu. But then because of the dal being stronger, and that is, as I said, that is just something that you must memorize or in your pronunciation mouth, that it is not right. I will do this next week again, inshallah. But just to give us an idea, as when you saw that and received this, to go through that you'll see that some letters where you won't pronounce the lam. So you won't say al-darsu, you'll say ad-darsu. So you don't read the lam there. But for example, if you see you see, then you read the shadda. So the letter then takes a shadda. Okay? Like darsu or whatever. Now the reason why I do mention it, because you will find, for example, in certain examples where there's no signs or harakat onto the words, then you don't know whether now it must be al, you know, whatever. So if you look at the word, for example, alhamdu, the kha, you see the kha is of the letters of Qamariya. So therefore you recite alhamdu. You don't say alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. You say Alhamdulillah. You see? So that is just as I would like. So try and memorize, and there you can see you have all the letters there. For example, on the one side, all the letters that is huruful qamariya, where the lam must be pronounced or add into the pronunciation, and hurufu shamsiya, all that down there again. And those are the letters where you will then announce or pronounce it with a mushadda, inshallah. Inshallah, I will conclude with that. If there's any questions, inshallah. Ibrahim, how's your collection on the books on your side? Are you happy?
Yeah, Sheikh, no, I'm fine. Whoever must pay, know who must pay. So I'm not really worried about that.
Is all your
Right.
books collected? All your books collected already?
I've got one more at my home that must be collected.
I think that's Roshan's book, no? Roshan?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Roshan didn't know, but I made contact with him today. So he said he will make contact. So he intends to collect it maybe on Saturday. If it's okay.
No
with you.
problem.
Yeah?
No
Then
problem.
on my side, I've still got a couple of books to be collected. I think I've issued about 4 books. 4 books. So I've got 8 more with me. 2, Brother Anwar is from Pretoria. He's here in Cape Town. He's coming to collect, the 2 books, and then the others, must still collect here from my side, inshallah.
So Imam, on the 5 books at Savans, I sent him a message. I said to him to reserve 5 more books at the same price, and whoever student still want can go directly and then just mention our name and the Arabic class.
Barakallah. That is actually what I wanted to do. Yeah. So whoever wants the books now, can actually go there then at least. But they must just let us know, in case, because if it's not going to be after that, maybe the man, he might, say, so whoever, inshallah, whoever is still in need of books and they intend to take a book, see if you can maybe make that, that arrangement. And you can go directly there. You can contact with Ibrahim also. I think the gentleman that we dealt with there was Riyaz, no? Riyaz, no, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Correct.
Riyaz, okay. You can just speak with him, inshallah, and you will still get the price for the book at the price that everybody else paid for it. I think it's 150 rand. But anyway, shukran each and everyone. Is there any questions before we proceed? Or we say conclude, Marv, and inshallah next week
Yes.
we'll start with lesson 10 min public.
Yes, Imam.
Fadal.
Die boek wat ons nou gebruik, né?
Ja, Damani.
As ons klaar is met die boek, gaat er nog een nieuwe boek gebruik? Ander boek, book 2 or something like that?
Naam, dat is boek 2, dat is boek 3 ook, Damani.
Is it available? As ons nou al klaar is sukkel met boek 1, dan ek meen maar nou. Ek meen availability, maar praat ek van.
Nee, Damani, wie jy is altyd net maar. Ek sê sommer jy.
Ja, ons moet gaan klaarmaak die jaar met boek 1 nog.
Damani, laat ek jou sê, ek meen daar's Antis Darina. Ek dink met Damani self. En I mean, the reason hoekom die mense so min maak van boek 2 is niks students, daar was baie min students wat van boek 1 af push vir boek 2. En ek voel baie motivated. Ek voel so groot op Tamani, wat nou die opgebring het, because at least Tamani gaat maak 'n effort dat daar is gaat students van ons wys wat boek 2 gaan doen. Inshallah.
Amin, inshallah. Amin.
Soos ons daar gaat kom, inshallah. Soos ons naby gaat kom met Tamani. Ek dink die boek het about 30 odd lessons. En dan kan ons dan moet ons nou die diploma gee.
Ja, want ons nou baie vinnig beweeg met die 10 lessons die man.
Ja.
Dan moet ons nou eers eksamen skryf.
En die Rhoda, kyk maar, you got your book now. Kyk maar daar van page number, dinges, waar is het nou? I'll tell you now. There's, but this is a very, very useful book. Number 2 is more useful. Number 2 is less lessons, but number 2 is going to become, it's like
More difficult.
Because you're not going to do more than, you're not going to do singles. You're going to do like more, more the others, and you're going to do more intense the discussions. So it's lesser lessons in there, but, alhamdulillah, it is quite, it's very interesting, I tell you, Book 2 and book 3 is like high level. After book 3, you go into the, then we do Quran, but that is if Allah Ta'ala still keeps us around.
Ameen.
You see here, if you look at page number 143, inshallah, that is the final exams. Okay?
Maar
That is
is
the
het
final
manier
exam for you to say you. But look at the page to the back part of the books as well. Because you'll see there's lekker conversations that mens kan maak. There's words that you can remember. There's phrases, you know, ila liqa means goodbye, or ma'as salama means to go in peace, you know. All those things, you know. There's nice phrases, man. And those are things how you can actually, because like I say, this can become an interesting class. I'm telling you, because alhamdulillah, I do have books here also with conversational Arabic as well, man, you know. But we need to first, you know, the word is baie swaar om te sê master, you know, because ons kan het nooit master nie, you know. But at least to be comfortable with it, to be able to delve, you know, into that, because therefore we are all referred to as talibun, you know. Talibs, you know,
Students.
people who students are the word as the derived from the word talaba means to request. And request, what do you request? You request knowledge. You request to broaden your knowledge, you know. And that is important. Why we look at the tilmid, meaning a pupil, and you look at the student, which is defined, you know, differently. Can you see what I mentioned, or what I meant when I said that sometimes you find certain words are used and it's a more intense form of the particular nouns. No? So inshallah. So yes, alhamdulillah, Damani, that's more positive ahead.
Yeah.
Inshallah. But I think, you know, like I said, ons gaan lekker aan so nou, one lesson, 2 lessons, and so inshallah. But all that I can just, you know, maybe I would say motivate the students to be, you know, to become, and that is to try and work on their own as well. You know, I'm trying here to like I say, to explain as far as what I can maybe see, but it's difficult, and I don't want to use it as an excuse, but it's difficult to actually ascertain whether the students are all, you know, following me. You know, that's important. But the purpose for the class wasn't for us to compete and whatever. It was more to introduce more to the Arabic language, you know. And I think Amal Wilma Daibichi doing so, inshallah, we can get there. But I would just like us to maybe work on your own and so, inshallah, you know, because like I say, there's a nice book that I've got here. It's called, you know, it's the book that, like we said, we did, you know, in the Medina course we did, you know, and it's the book that also being taught at Jamiatul, you know, at the University of Medina. It's called Durusul Lughatun Arabiya, you know. And it's a book that they use, you know, as part of the course there, man. And it's a very nice book, but it's all in Arabic. And it's easy for us to learn, you know, it's easy for us to learn soon as we go through this. You know, this book is nice and easy for, as you can see, this is more designed for students of another language, meaning students, for example, of another nationality, like English, and then to be taught, but you see this book is more sort of loaded with English than Arabic. And the only way that you and I will be able to start conversing in Arabic and understand the Arabic more is when we start using Arabic books, man, you know? And that is important for us to actually do. But inshallah, I think we will conclude with that, you know, Yusuf. Is there any questions before we conclude, inshallah? Any question? The man is laat me altyd die spyker groot op die kop, you know? Maar is there any other questions? Any other questions, you know, that we would like to ask, and some motivation, inshallah, it would be nice. Anything else?
Die laaste lesson Imam vocalized the following sentences, no?
No.
There's no vowels on it. Do we put the vowels on there?
Yeah, that is most important. That is important, Mali, because there's sommige tye, for example, mudarrisun en madrasatun, you know? Hulle soms dit op dieselfde ding is. En importantly, die belangrikste iets met Amani is die laaste vowel. Die laaste sound, die un. So nou alhamdulillah, meeste van het wat ons doen is un. Wat soon ons nog gaan doen van lesson 10 af op. Dan gaan ons sien, hier gaat ons nog change eerste, waar ons nog het sit op die laaste letters, sit ons een oe, right? Daartoe. Want wanneer ons gaat verder gaan, inshallah, en ons gaan doen die verb, dan gaan hy oe weer change naar een ah. Ra'aya, darsa.
A preposition kama I.
And then we come to the preposition again, the
Listen.
harf jar, it changes
Instead
to
of
the
I.
you know, and to say. So therefore, I say, that is. So therefore, you can see why I am emphasizing on us firstly understanding the laws of it, you know, and the reasons why it is like that. Before we go on to the next, then we will be able to, you know, because you'll find, especially where I mentioned that last letter, that last vowel. If you are not able to detect it and not able to vocalize it properly, dan gaan ons 'n ander meaning na die sentence gee. Verstaan wat ek bedoel? Gaan ons 'n ander meaning na die sentence completely gee. Dan gaan ons die fa'il, meaning die ene wat die job doen, gaan ons change na die ene wat die job kry. Verstaan wat ek bedoel? En dan gaan ons heeltemal uit context uit put. You know? You know, but inshallah, you know, like I say, ons gaan nog baie lag op jou. Ons gaan nog baie lag. En inshallah, en daai is ons moet baie goed in daai man. Ons kan ons lekker lag. But inshallah, but shukran very much. But Yusuf, I really appreciate your patience, you know, some of us, alhamdulillah. And, you know, making it so possible for us to do this. And I'm sorry once again, but don't blame me, blame the system, you know. Is hulle wat vir ons laat gemaak het, you know. But I just
Eskom.
Yeah, I just say shukran to all of us for you know, bearing, you know, with us, and alhamdulillah, the dedication of all of us to still log in at such a late time, you know, inshallah. We hope to better things. I think maybe we maybe just need to put our heads together again later on, inshallah, as we're going to near to Ishai, you know. Because ons lyk ons om klaar is ons Ishai gaan maak het voor as die klas begin het, or at least, you know, that it doesn't clash with the waqtu time. But inshallah, as we get nearer to that, we can maybe, you know, we can maybe see how we can actually overcome that as well, inshallah. Anyway, but if, just before we go, is there anything that we maybe need to mention? Anybody? Anybody else?
Finished.
Finish. Okay,
I'm
then
done.
is finish. Right. All is finished.
Thanks, Imam.
Okay.
Shukran, Imam.
Shukran very much. Inshallah, have a good night.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Warahmatullah.
Okay, shukran. Afwan, wassalamu alaikum.
Afwan, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.